Life is not about how much we can get out of the universe. It is really about how much we have been able to give back to the universe. There are many ways in which you can give back. But there is one way by which the most intelligent give back. It's through innovation. Innovations are needed to solve the most challenging problems that we face. Challenges in the areas of sustainability, technology, education, energy, life sciences. Express your intelligence by solving some of the big challenges we face, and you will become innovation.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your lunch. Our next speaker really needs no introduction in Houston. She holds the dual titles of Chancellor of the University of Houston System and President of University of Houston. During her tenure, U of H has experienced a steady transition into a Tier 1 university, record-breaking research funding, enrollments, and recognition as an exceptional workplace. Please join me in welcoming Houston's Dr. Renu Khator to the stage.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And to those of you who are coming from outside of Houston, a very, very warm welcome to Houston. I am really humbled to be here today because I know I am in the company of IIT graduates. You're the best and the brightest. Congratulations to you. My hat's off to you. I know I didn't have credentials to get to an IIT. But I had better credentials to find my way to marry one. Now, I can vouch for the value of IIT graduates, both outside and inside the house. Because of that reason, I'm very proud of the intelligence that you all bring here to the table. Conference theme is about inspiring innovation. And whenever you talk about innovation, you cannot have a discourse without bringing in education in the mix. Education and also higher education in particular. However, higher education itself is going through a remarkable transformation. The pundits are predicting that over next 7 to 10 years, just the span of 7 to 10 years, 1/3 of the institutions of higher education in the United States of America will not find themselves viable to continue functioning. The structure will change, the delivery will change. It is possible that how we organize and certify knowledge may change too. However, I know that you have panels on higher education later on, and they will talk about this. So I'm not touching upon that issue today. I have been asked by the organizers to present a case study to you about the University of Houston and its innovation and its transformation through innovation. So I'm very happy to do that today because I can talk about University of Houston in my sleep for hours together. I know there are lots of cougars here in the room as well, so you can vouch for it. There we go. Now, 6 years, I'm going to give you a little bit about the 6 years because I'm just been completing my 6 years as Chancellor and President of this University of Houston, a major research university in the 4th largest city in the United States of America. In 6 years, I have held one and simple belief, and the belief has been that great universities are built by great communities, and communities are enriched by universities. In other words, there is a linkage between universities and communities that simply cannot be separated. So we invited the community, our region, our city to be part of the transformation of the University of Houston 6 years ago. And the city responded, and they responded very well. Now, if we have had transformation, which I'll give you some statistics so you can believe it, it has been simply because we really partnered, and we partnered with the strengths of our city and our region. So we built a very strong partnership with the energy industry, and as you heard from previous speakers, that Houston does have a very big footprint. Actually, it is the oil and gas capital of the world. We built a very strong partnership with the energy industry. In 6 years, we also built a very strong partnership with the healthcare industry because, again, Houston is home to the world's largest medical facility. And we also focused on meeting the needs of the community and being relevant to the community by preparing the workforce and by providing the intellectual capital. And we chose to do this not by rhetoric, not by talking, but walking the talk and holding ourselves accountable. We have full accountability, one-page sheet, what we call a report card or progress card. You can find it on our website. Therefore, we know if we are making progress, if we are being relevant to the community, if we are serving our community to the best potential possible. The result of all of this has been that there used to be a warehouse that sat right next to the University of Houston. Today, that warehouse has been transformed into a very thriving energy research park. If you're going to have an energy capital of the world, you of course need to produce workforce, but you need to think about the future of energy. How can you bring together public sector, private sector, academic sector, everybody together to be thinking about the issues that are coming in front of us and that must be resolved? That facility, which is 75 acres, 500,000 square feet of area, has been now converted into a research space, into a space where technology is not just being discovered, but also being marketed. Today, we have lots of research centers there. We have petroleum engineering program there. We have other programs there, but we also have something that has never happened at the University of Houston before, that we have 5 startup companies there. 2 of those companies are by students. And this result is only in last 4 years. So you can imagine now that it is kicking and growing very well, what will happen over next 5 years. We have started a trend that simply is going to gain momentum. Now, our curriculum also has changed as a result of partnering with the community. The examples I can give you is, one example in the energy industry is about a program called subsea engineering. We know that offshore drilling is the future in oil and gas. And we built a program because industry said that those are the training skills that they will need, and they need today and they will need in future. So we built a program that doesn't exist anywhere in the United States of America. It's the first one of its kind, and there are only 4 other in the entire world. And we started as a pilot program, and today that program is growing out of bound. We can't even fill the demand that we have for it today. The second example I'll give you is in the medical area. We do not have a medical school, but Houston has 3 medical schools. You can see glass as half full, or you can see glass as half empty. We saw glass as half full. We built partnerships with those 3 medical schools, and today we have direct admission process that goes out of high school. We recruit students who are jointly interviewed by the University of Houston and by the medical school faculty. They are given direct admission to the medical school. They finish, instead of 8 years, in 7 years, they finish their BS and then transfer to MD, and they finish their BS MD in 7 years. We do. And we are doing the same thing in nursing and the same thing in public health. As a matter of fact, 25% of nursing seats are reserved for students who are coming through the University of Houston pipeline. Now, another example of the transformation is that we have brought many members of the National Academy of Engineering and National Academy of Science, the very prized faculty, Now, the last member, before I came to the University of Houston, the last member of the academy brought in here was in 1984. There was a complete drought between 1984 and 2008. Since 2008, we have brought in one or two every year. And as a result now, we have the threshold of intellectual capital that is creating a different kind of dynamism inside the university about research. We have also taken the lead in terms of commercialization of technology. When professors invent something, it's great. They publish, it's even wonderful. But then their technology sits on the shelf, and if it is not used immediately in the market, then it really is not benefiting the society. We decided to get very aggressive about it. And I won't go into the details, but one way of looking at it is when the technology gets marketed, there is a revenue that comes from your intellectual property on that technology. Just to give you an example, in 2007, the year before I came here, our IP revenue was $600,000 a year. This year, we are finishing the same IP revenue at about $17 million. We are the number one university, public university in the whole nation that does not have a medical school and that has the IP revenue of this level. We are ranked number one right now. Another example, we are no longer considered a commuter campus. That's the name that was given to us. Today, in last 5 years, 6 years, if you have not been to the University of Houston, I challenge you to come. And I challenge you to find your way to whatever building you were when you were on campus, because I guarantee you, you will not find your way, because I can't find my way around. We have finished $1 billion worth of construction program, but we have built residence halls, and now we are the second most residential campus in the state of Texas. All public and private universities. The only university that has more beds on campus than University of Houston is Texas A&M. And I won't go there as to where they're located, so it makes sense. Now, we live in a thriving place of 6 million people right here in Houston. We do not necessarily need programs where students never have to come on campus. Online learning is very important, but at the same time, on-site interaction with the students is equally important. So even though we haven't built very many complete online programs, but 25% of our students are taking an online course to fulfill their requirements at any given time. So we're giving convenience, and at the same time, we are venturing into the area which is the wave of the future. And finally, I'll give you another example, and that is the entrepreneurship, because you are IIT graduates. I know most of you are very entrepreneurial. You are serial entrepreneurs, as a matter of fact. We have an entrepreneurship program at the undergraduate level that is ranked number one in the nation. Last 3 of the 5 years, it is ranked number one in the nation. So that tells you, when we take things seriously, we truly do take things seriously. Our aim has been, through all of this exercise, our aim has been one and the simple one. We will bring innovation, we'll bring transformation, but our aim remains non-negotiable. And our aim has been developing leaders of tomorrow who can think critically, who can lead globally, and who can function in a diverse, international, multicultural environment. And students, leaders who can enhance the quality of life, not just economically, but also socially. We make this goal as a non-negotiable goal, and that means whatever it takes to get to the goal, we are going to accomplish that. Everything else is negotiable. The strategies are negotiable, the resources are negotiable, how many hours we work in a day are negotiable. Nonetheless, the goals themselves are not negotiable. Now, I know I'm very, very inspired by your presence here, because you symbolize what success is. As I said, you're the best and the brightest from India. You're the best and the brightest of performance right here in the United States. You have proven that anything is possible and everything is possible. And I know many of you are involved and engaged in building, in supporting world-class institutions, either back in India, IITs, or here in the United States, maybe your other alma mater where you did your PhD or your master's or whatever. So I'd like to leave you with just a couple of points which I think really are important for building world-class universities. My number one message is that for world-class institutions, there is absolutely no compromise on excellence. And if an institution does not have the courage to call what is mediocre as mediocre and what is excellent as excellent, it is not going to be a world-class institution. Very many times, institutions are mediocre in areas, but they couch it, cover it, and call it themselves excellent. And I would say that we cannot settle with mediocrity if we are building a world-class university. My second message, yes, I think that's worth a clap for sure, because it is the hardest transformation to bring, and it is definitely not an easy task, and I know there are several people here from the University of Houston who can vouch for it, what kind of a hard lifting it is to really separate the mediocrity from excellence. I do have here in attendance Dr. Ramanan Krishnamurthy, who is a graduate of IIT Madras, and he's leading our energy initiative. And as I told you, my husband is IIT, and there are many other IITs here as well. My second message here is that universities cannot build themselves by themselves. They just cannot. Universities cannot stay within their own boundaries. Universities always were considered to be there for the help of the community. We have to step out if we haven't stepped out, but we have to build partnerships. What is extremely important is the public mission of higher education. However, it must be combined with the private interest and investment. The best of the universities, private universities in this country, receive millions of dollars of federal public money, whether they receive it from the National Science Foundation or National Institute of Health or other agencies. Their research portfolios are full of public money. So there is a public-private partnership that way. All of the best public institutions in this country receive millions of dollars in terms of the private support. For the University of Houston, we receive about $115 to $120 million a year in terms of private support to really fulfill our public mission. In India, it is a particular challenge because that culture is yet to come, where the private individuals, the private sector, the private enterprises are seriously supporting the public education. The trend seems to be to establish private universities, leave the public universities here. And I know IITs are great institutions with public support, but they will need private support to really build themselves as world-class institutions. The third message I will leave here is, no matter what you say, at the end of the day, universities are defined by students, when they are there as students and when they graduate from there. Because if we did not have students at a university, we cannot call ourselves a university. We can call ourselves a research center, an institute, anything we want. But we are a university. We are a place of learning. We are a place of higher education simply because we have students who are there to learn. Therefore, we have to focus. We have to commit and dedicate ourselves to students. Because when they graduate, they still continue to serve the institution. They define an institution, they shape an institution, and they are the reason why institutions are called excellent. Today, IITs are known and called as greatest institutions in the world. I know that it is harder to get in IIT than it might be to get into any institution in the world. They are great not because the institutions, they are great because of you. You who have graduated from there, you who have brought that experience, and you who have succeeded using that name and that experience. So I commend you. I challenge you to continue to look back to your alma mater, to making it even a better place than what it was when you were there. But you are defining that institution, you are defining excellence, and I'm not an expert on language, but if I can leave you with one note, I think if you want to spell excellence, just spell it with 3 letters, IIT. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khator. On behalf of IIT 2013 conference, please accept our token of appreciation. Let's give her another round of applause.